Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. In today's lecture we're going to continue from where we left last lecture about decreasing methods to decrease cash outflows. In previous lecture we talked about leasing, hire purchase and as well as decreasing our unit costs. Okay, we talked about leasing, hire purchase and reducing unit costs. So now we're going to talk about other methods, that are the remaining ones, as well as the limitations of cash flow forecasting. So with that we'll be done with this chapter. So another way of decreasing our cash outflows is by getting cheaper suppliers. Keep cheap supplies by changing suppliers. However, quality may be compromised and hence brand name may be damaged. Okay, so you will want to get cheaper raw materials for your goods for your production process. But of course, if your production process is cheaper, it's more likely that the quality will also be deteriorate a bit. So, and if it deteriorates much, if the change into quality is easily identifiable, then customers can easily see that okay, the quality has decreased, so your brand image will be damaged. And if your brand image will be damaged, then of course your customers will start leaving your business, they will go to your competitors and your sales will drop. So you don't want that. So it is, you can do this method if you can get cheaper supplies by changing suppliers, such only if your quality is not that much compromised. Okay, if you think that okay, my quality is okay and I can get cheap supplies, okay, you can get cheap inventory, cheap raw materials, then okay, but you should try not to reduce your quality much. That's the whole point of that. Then we have JIT. We can use JIT, that is just in time, to prevent warehousing costs and the risk of obsolescence while fulfilling customer orders on time. However, it requires a good relationship with suppliers and a flexible workforce. We talked about the benefits and drawbacks of JIT. Okay, so basically how JIT helps in reducing your cash outflows is that you don't have to purchase stocks and hold them. So it basically gets rid of the warehousing cost, the risk of obsolescence. Okay, because all of these adds to your cost, so you don't have to pay for these costs. So that's how your costs have reduced, hence your cash outflows have reduced. But again, there are some limitations. So for each method you're gonna see how it helps you to decrease the cash outflows, but you're also gonna say about the limitations, the drawbacks of each method as well, to find out which method is best. Just give me a minute. So we are back again. Now we have to talk about other methods like reducing promotional costs. When we said that we can increase our cash inflows by increasing our promotion, our advertisement, our marketing, in that way we can increase our customers. But and now we're talking the opposite, that we want to decrease our cash outflows, so you want to reduce the promotional costs. However, it may also reduce sales if the business is a relatively new firm. Why is that? Because your customers, you want to keep your promotion to a suitable promotion level, that you keep attracting new customers, keep retaining old ones, or allow for repeat purchases. Okay, you want to keep reminding the customer that okay, you exist in the market as well, you offer so and so products, how is your product better than others. Okay, so you want to continue your marketing, hence it can somewhat reduce sales if you reduce your promotional cost. And it is more important for a relatively new firm. So if you're a new firm, then that's not a good option. But large reputable businesses also need continuous promotion to maintain the brand image and attract more customers. So overall, it's not too much of a good method, but it can be used to reduce cash outflows if there are not good, the drop in sales is not that high. Okay, that okay, there is a certain, you can still have good enough sales to have your desired profit, then okay, you can go for your reducing promotional costs. But that's again not one of the good methods. The good methods that were there was basically these three. Okay, GIT is also a good method, but other two are not that good. And finally we have delaying payments to suppliers. This is also not too good, I would say. Why? Because it is only applicable for reputable businesses, since suppliers want to continue supplying to them due to their brand reputation. So if you are a good branded business, okay, suppliers will still want to be have they still want to deal with you because it benefits them as well. But if you are not a good reputable business, you are just a normal business or a small business, a new business, then it will cause dissatisfaction to suppliers if payments are delayed frequently, and therefore may lead to suppliers not wanting to attend to special orders during seasonal demand and instead cater special orders for competitor firms. Now, we've already talked about this if you remember previously. Can you remember where did we talk that? Stop the video for a minute if you want to remember, if you think you know that, or I'll show. So let me tell you, where did we discuss that? We discussed that when we were talking about the importance of holding a certain level of suitable level of cash, or managing levels of cash. So over there we talked that we need to have certain level of cash to pay to our suppliers, because if we don't pay our suppliers on time, then you know they won't be able to cater to a special orders in seasonal demand. Okay, demand suddenly increases, you want to have less special orders to your suppliers, but they will be like, nah, he doesn't pay us on time, so we won't attend to this special order. Instead they'll go to your competitor firms, they'll cater their special orders, so that way your sales will reduce. You could have benefited from that seasonal demand increase, but you won't be able to if your suppliers, you don't have good relationship with your suppliers, if you have been continuously delaying payments and all. So that's why this option is only applicable for reputable businesses, not for generally all businesses. Okay, so that way we've talked about all these methods. Now, which ones are the ones I will go with? Well, leasing is good, hire purchase is good. Oops. Hire purchase is good. This method is also good. Then GID is good. These ones are not too good, but yes, they can be used in certain situations, but generally not all situations. So I wouldn't go with that. So whenever our question comes to describe how you can decrease your cash outflows, I will say you all to just first go with these blue ones, then go with red ones if you want to further elaborate on that, because they are also applicable but not generally applicable. So you need to see the certain situation given to you in questions before answering it. Finally, we are wrapping up this chapter with this small topic of limitations of cash flow forecast. Now, in some books you might see small points instead of big paragraphs or stuff. You might see 5 points, 4 points, 6 points, I don't know how much, but I've divided this thing into paragraphs, and that's basically, I believe, all you need to know about the limitations of cash flow forecast. If you can elaborate, if you can give these 2 points and elaborate, give analysis or evaluate statement of your own, that will be good enough to score your marks. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, first and foremost, it is only an estimate or prediction. It is not 100% accurate, of course, because it's a forecast. Yeah, it is internal. The internal and external factors can invalidate a cash flow forecast or decrease its accuracy, such as changes in consumer taste and fashion, leading to relatively lower revenue as expected in cash inflows. Therefore, the business might even have a negative cash flow. Now, if you see over here, what I've done over here is the chain of analysis. Okay, first I said that okay, these factors can invalidate a statement, your cash flow forecast, and then I've given an example of consumer taste and changes in consumer taste and fashion, that if this happens, there's a change in consumer taste, then your revenue might change, because when I say change in consumer taste, I mean like they don't want, your brand is not one that they have switched to some other thing, there's some other trend or something. Okay, so your revenue has decreased as you have expected in cash inflows. Okay, you have overestimated your cash inflows. In reality, because of this change, your cash flows are not as high as you expected, so therefore the business might even have a negative cash flows. That's all a chain of analysis. Another example I've given over here is that it can be that of a change in technology requiring modern machinery and equipment for production in order to keep up with competition, adding considerably high cash outflows than expected. So in the first situation, I've told about how we can have lower inflows than expected, and now we have talked about how we can have higher outflows than expected. Okay, so you can give your own examples as well, like increase in your minimum wage labor cost. Okay, because of that your your labor cost will increase, so your cash outflows will increase than expected. Okay, your internal factors could be that your employees are not motivated, because of which your productivity has decreased, because of which efficiency decreases, and hence you're not able to produce. Your quality might have deteriorated a bit, because of which your sales will decrease. Okay, so that's an internal factor. So you just have to take one point and elaborate on that for a good analysis. And if you have a good analysis, then you don't need many points. You just need to have you need to mention less and discuss more. That's the whole idea. Okay. And another point I've come over here is that the forecasts themselves may have been inexpertly drawn up. First, it was that it's an estimate or prediction, not 100% accurate, and some factors can invalidate the accuracy. And now it's that it may have been inexpertly drawn up. Either they have underestimated cash outflows or overestimated cash inflows. So either of those could be harmful for the business. Therefore, incorrect assumptions could be made using inaccurate cash flow forecasts, which may be caused due to poor market research. Okay, so we're saying that inaccuracy or in constructing cash flow forecasts could be due to your poor market research. Your market research, we have already talked about the limitations of market research in chapter 3.2, so you can look at that. These incorrect assumptions will lead to wrong decisions, such as investment in expansion while it requires significant cash outflows, which the business may have underestimated, and overestimated its cash inflows, due to which it would be more confident in investment in expansion. So over here I've given a small example that, okay, because of these incorrect assumptions, let's assume you said, okay, I have enough cash inflows to expand and my cash outflows won't be that high, I can cover up that, and hence the business goes for expansion. But wait a minute, your market research was poor. That means your cash flow forecast is wrong. This is not going to happen. Perhaps you have underestimated your cash outflows, so because of which your cash outflows are more than you expected, your cash inflows are less than you expected. So because of which all of that, you will have a negative cash flow, and because of which your debts and all, you can be in cash flow liquidity crisis will be there, insufficient liquidity, and overall the business will be in a quite a pinch, and perhaps may have to discontinue its operations in the worst case scenario. So that's all for the limitations of cash flow forecast, and we are done with this chapter finally. And now we are done with all of this business studies course. Thanks for watching this course until the end. I hope you understood the concepts. I'm also going to add another topic in which we're going to talk about the past paper questions, the format of the paper, sample past paper answers. I'm going to discuss that, and calculations as well. So look forward to that. Thanks for watching, and Allah Hafiz.